Panama isn't just the place with the famous canal and the hat that, spoiler alert, doesn't actually come from Panama. It's also one of the easiest countries in the world for retirees to pack up and start a brand new life. Today, I'm walking you step by step through exactly how to move here. From visas to housing to whether or not you should drag that 30-year-old recliner across the ocean, we'll cover it all. By the end, you'll know if Panama is your perfect retirement escape or just a fun daydream. So you've got your passport ready. Now, how do you actually stay here longer than a vacation? U.S. citizens get 180 days visa-free. It's a great way to test Panama with a long stay before committing. The superstar of visas. Here are the requirements. You need a lifetime pension of at least $1,000 per month. That drops to $750 a month if you buy over $100,000 worth of property. You must prove it's a permanent pension. Social Security counts. Now, the benefits are actually written into law: 25% off airline tickets and restaurants, 50% off movies, concerts, and cultural events, 15 to 20% off medical services, and 25% off utilities and internet. You'll also get discounts on hotels, transport, and even car rentals. It's basically like being handed a senior discount card that actually matters. Once approved, you get an official Pensionado ID card issued by Panama's Tribunal Electoral. You show it at restaurants, hotels, pharmacies, or when paying bills. Utilities link your card to your account, so discounts apply automatically. Here are some common scenarios. At a restaurant, you get 25% off your bill when you show the card. At the pharmacy, 10% off prescriptions. Hotels, 30 to 50% off depending on the day. And for utilities, once registered, it's automatic. Here's a tip. Sometimes staff forget, so ask politely with "Aplica el descuento de jubilado?" which means, do you apply the retiree discount? So, almost everyone hires a lawyer for this process. Lawyer fees usually run between $2,000 and $5,000. On top of that, there are government fees, which are about $1,500. The processing time takes about 3 to 6 months once you've actually filed in Panama. Now, the documents you'll need include your passport, a pension verification letter that's both notarized and apostilled, proof of income, a police background check, and a health certificate from a Panamanian doctor. Before you move, gathering all your documents in the United States takes about 1 to 3 months, since you'll need to get apostilles and background checks sorted out. After you arrive in Panama, you'll submit your paperwork and get a temporary card either the same day or within a few days. Final approval usually takes 3 to 6 months. So the total realistic time from start to finish is around 4 to 9 months. There are a couple of other ways to stay in Panama. The Friendly Nations visa now requires either a job contract or a $200,000 property purchase. There's also the investor visa, which means investing at least $300,000 in real estate or making a $500,000 fixed bank deposit. So, don't try to DIY the visa. Lawyers really do make it smoother. Oh, and apostilles older than 6 months? Yeah, those get rejected. Missing documents can actually restart the clock, so you really want to double check everything. Next question. Where are you going to put all your stuff and, more importantly, yourself? Panama City offers skyscrapers, nightlife, and modern amenities with a 2-bedroom running about $1,200 to $2,500. Boquete, up in the Chiriquí Highlands, has cool weather, mountain views, and is a popular expat hub with prices from $700 to $1,200. Coronado gives you beaches, golf, and gated communities, usually between $1,000 and $1,800. And David has a more local vibe and lower costs. Think $500 to $900. Foreigners can own property outright, which is pretty great. But you can't buy within 10 miles of the borders. Closing costs are around 5%, give or take. And here's a nice perk. Property taxes are often exempt for 20 years on new builds. So here's a tip. Rent first for 6 to 12 months before you think about buying. And always check internet availability before you sign a lease. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of headaches later. Let's talk about your health, because honestly, retiring without health care is like driving without a spare tire. The public system is ultra cheap, but you should expect long waits. Doctor visits are usually around $2. The private system is high quality, especially in Panama City. Oh, and Punta Pacifica Hospital, that's actually a Johns Hopkins affiliate. So, what will healthcare cost you? Well, seeing a specialist is usually about $40 to $60, and a routine doctor visit runs about $15 to $25. Private insurance typically costs between $150 and $300 per month. Compared to the U.S., surgeries here are 70 to 80% cheaper. In fact, many retirees just pay cash because it's so affordable. Here's a quick tip. Make sure to bring a translator app or maybe a friend with you because, well, some clinics operate only in Spanish. Okay, so here's some good news. You don't have to learn a new currency, but the bad news is you still have to deal with banks. In the U.S., you can just walk in and open an account in about an hour. In Panama, though, it can take weeks of paperwork. You'll need a residency card or your visa paperwork, your passport, proof of income, like a Social Security letter, and reference letters from your U.S. bank. And yeah, approval can take a few weeks. You'll see U.S. dollars everywhere in Panama. The country's own Balboa is only used as coins, and they're equal to $1. Okay, so your U.S. credit cards still work in Panama, which is super convenient. But just a heads up, Panamanian credit cards are a bit harder to get if you don't have a local credit history. Debit cards do work as well, but, you should really watch out for those fees when using them abroad. Banking in Panama is definitely more teller-based, and there's less online banking than you might be used to. Also, expect monthly fees in the range of $10 to $20, and honestly, higher minimum balances, like over $1,000. Panama has very strict anti-laundering laws, so yeah, you should expect to explain any big transfers you make. It's just part of the process there. Okay, so U.S. retirees, you still need to file with the IRS, but here's the good news. Panama only taxes your local income, not your pension or Social Security. That's a pretty big deal for a lot of folks. Now, do you ship your stuff or do you just start fresh? Let's answer that burning question. Is your lazy boy really worth a boat ride? So, here's what you need to know. International movers will run you about $5,000 to $10,000 door to door. If you want to save some money, freight forwarders are cheaper, but it's a bit more of a do-it-yourself style. And just for reference, some common companies people use are Allied, Crown Relocations, and Box Cargo. When it comes to cars, roll-on, roll-off shipping is definitely cheaper. But if you want your car to be safer and maybe pack a few items with it, a container is the way to go. Expect costs between $1,000 and $2,500. And here's a nice perk. If you have a Pensionado visa, you can import one car every 2 years, tax-free. So, when it comes to moving your belongings, you might want to consider movers like Allied Atlas or Crown Relocations. And if you're shipping a car, check out companies such as Ship Overseas Sea Rates or Schumacher Cargo. Always, and I mean always, get 3 quotes before making a decision. It's a good idea to ask your lawyer for recommendations on trusted shippers. And don't forget to budget for customs and port fees, since those can really add up. For your cell phone, you're probably looking at about $15 to $25 a month. Internet will run you around $30 to $60. Utilities can range from $75 to $150, especially if you use air conditioning a lot. And just so you know, your U.S. license is valid for 90 days in Panama, but after that, you'll need to get a Panamanian license. Now that you've got the logistics handled, what's daily life really like? Expats, Boquete has clubs and hiking groups. Coronado means golf and beach. And Panama City, well, that's all about the urban hustle. Language-wise, Spanish is the official language, but English is pretty common in expat hubs. When it comes to safety, Panama is safer than much of Central America, but you should still use common sense. So, let's talk about daily costs. For groceries, you're looking at about $300 to $500 a month for a couple. Eating out? Well, a local meal can be as low as $5, while a mid-range restaurant might set you back $15 to $30. And when it comes to entertainment, you can catch a movie for under $5. Or check out salsa clubs and even expat theater. Not too shabby, right? Okay, but how long does this whole moving circus actually take? Let's break it down. 6 to 12 months before you move, you'll want to visit Panama, start getting your documents prepped, and grab those apostles. Then, about 3 to 6 months out, it's time to hire a lawyer, decide on your shipping options, and start downsizing your belongings. When you arrive, you'll enter as a tourist, rent a short-term place, and kick off your visa process. And during your first 6 months, you'll finish up the paperwork, join some expat groups, and really settle into daily life. So, is Panama the retirement dream it's hyped up to be? For many people, absolutely. You've got easy visas, a low cost of living, a built-in community, and health care that honestly won't bankrupt you. If you're serious about making the leap, I actually built the Dream Big Relocation Planner to help you stay organized. Visas, housing, banking, the whole checklist, you name it. You can grab it in the description below. And of course, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Would you go for the mountains in Boquete or the beaches in Coronado? I'd really love to hear your thoughts.